And at this time, I am joined by, yes, the Hawk himself, Craig Montgomery. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing? Appreciate you having me on again.
Absolutely. It's always good to have you back here. And wanted to bring you in to talk about some things that are recently happening. But this week, something has happened that a lot of people are celebrating and some people are mourning. But I have to take a moment, Craig, and I have to pay my disrespects and good riddance.
The former dictator of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe, dead and on his way to hell at the age of 95. He was Prime Minister of Zimbabwe from April 18th, 1980 until December 31st, 1987. And then he was President of Zimbabwe from December 31st, 1987 until November 21st, 2017, when he was ousted in a coup. Mugabe came to power at independence from Great Britain in 1980 after a guerrilla war ended white minority rule in what was then known as Rhodesia. He was heralded as a model leader, and there were high hopes for him and the country of Zimbabwe. He was hailed as a pragmatic African leader. However, that image steadily eroded over time as his leadership became more authoritarian. Democracy, the rule of law, and the economy suffered.
Yes, Robert Mugabe, you piece of shit. The world is a better place without you. Fuck you, go to hell. Overall, I got to ask you, Craig, you caught the news of this. What was your reaction?
Well, it's no surprise that he died in another country where they don't have medical insurance. In their own country, they don't have hospitals. They're all gone. So ironically, he landed up in a Western country, a more modern country that was democratized, that had medical facilities where he died. His own country couldn't deal with him, couldn't fix him because they don't have hospitals. They're all gone. How ironic, right? Uh, they hailing him as a colonialist remover, but in fact, he was given the country by the British. The British basically gave him the country and forced the whites out. Does that sound familiar to what's going on in South Africa?
Very familiar.
Yeah, based on what happened this week with the xenophobia thing, this could be a Trojan horse.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now. I mean, first off, last week I put it out on Twitter that there was they kidnapped a little girl by the name of Amy Lee. I can't remember how to pronounce the full name.
Yeah.
And it was like an Amber Alert. The attention that was brought to it was great, and luckily she was found unharmed. And then more came about out of this when let's just say, I mean, the shit really hit the fan. The girl's teachers involved, the girl's mother's involved. What
So the story goes, and it's not confirmed. Everybody's trying to cover it up so it doesn't look so bad. The mother got in trouble with drugs with the Nigerian drug dealers. She owed them money. So they cocked up a story where they'll literally take the child. So 4 black gentlemen come along. They hand the kid over to these guys. Off they go. She says they were kidnapped. She was kidnapped out the car. And so when the shitstorm hit the fan with the media, this just went crazy. Everybody went mad because look, a little white girl, 4 black guys. You know the story. I jumped on there. I offered 10,000 rand right off the bat. Another guy offered 30,000. It grew up to almost 100,000. When they realized that this pressure was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the cops were going, wait a minute, something stinks. Everybody said something stinks. Even the Coke party was screaming, hey, wait on, just wait, something stinks. And true enough, the teacher and the mother, which was supposed to be best buddies, cocked this plan up to get 2 million rand so that they could ransom the kid and pay the drug dealers off. Nigerian drug dealers.
What didn't make a whole lot of sense to me in the very beginning is she was with, I can't remember if it was her friend or her little brother. You know, somebody who wants ransom, I think would have taken both of the kids.
Yeah, they specifically targeted this kid. So, you know, that's what made it suspicious, because they specifically took the oldest kid.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
and then
well, I wish them well in jail for a long time. That's all. That's all I can.
And then also, I mean, I'm starting to see a lot of reports of whether they're children or adults. I'm starting to see reports of missing people. A 19-year-old girl who goes by the nickname of Nini. I think I pronounced it right, because I'll be damned if I can pronounce the whole name. She was kidnapped sometime last week, and recently her body was found, and she was raped and bludgeoned to death in a post office. And this was a University of Cape Town student.
Yeah.
19 years old.
Yeah. And you know, they did a huge march this week on rape and murder and abuse of married women, girlfriends and fiancés. A lot of them pregnant, they were murdered by the boyfriend or the husband. There's no death sentence in South Africa, so these guys are just getting away with it. Also, the rape rate in South Africa is ridiculous, something like 3 a minute now. And how do you justify this? And then on top of that, you got all the xenophobia going on right now, where in South Africa they want all the foreigners out. Literally want them out. Okay, so they targeting just Nigerians, but they're stating now that they want everybody out. They want Liberians, Kenyans, they want Zimbabweans, Mozambicans, you name it. They want them out. They want everybody out of the country by the end of. And on the 9th of September, apparently the taxis are going to block off the cities and literally go through the cities and wipe out all the churches and any businesses that are run by Nigerians or any foreign entities. And this is fact. The voice notes are out there. The messages are out there. The text messages are out there. This is going to happen on the 9th of September.
Craig, you sent me a video, and I want to play the audio of this because I think it's important. I can't remember exactly how long this is. Mm-hmm. I want to go ahead and cue this audio from some xenophobic piece of shit who's, let's just listen to what he had to say. As soon as I can get the sound to cue, that is. There we go. Just got to be patient sometimes with technology, right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I just want to say good day. Yes. Good evening, everyone. I just want to say good evening, everyone. Again, whoever's watching this video. I go by the names of Sergeant Mabutu Maseko Zuma Kungugu, South African, born and raised. Yes, I am South African, born and raised. I shall not fear any man. Yes, I led to the killing of fellow Africans. Because of me and my friend Maseko, we initiated the riots to kill every black African in our country. CNN, everyone is blogging, abusing, and attacking us, South Africans. You don't know how we survive. You don't know the history of South Africa. You don't know what it means for a fellow black person to be there unemployed. You're just in your country talking bullshit about South Africa. But let me warn you, we are giving 14 days for every foreigner to get out of our country. If you can't get out of our countries, I can guarantee you, we shall execute a lot of foreigners that we come across in our region. I watched a video yesterday. A stupid man from Gambia. Gambia. Jesus Christ, Gambia. The most poorest country, ignorant people. Because he lives in America. To rub white people's asses. He had the audacity to abuse fellow South Africans. And this idiot goes by the names of Baba. Gambia. A place where every primitive person lives. Gambia. We South Africans, we know who we are. We shall not let anybody, I repeat, we shall not let anybody threaten us. The only country we respect is Uganda. So, we shall kill whoever foreigner we come across. We don't care even if you're black. We will not care even if you're black. Me, the pride I feel when I kill a fellow black man, I can't even express it. We need our consent. Foreigners must. We don't care what we talk about South Africans, but we shall continue killing fellow Africans. So to whoever you stupid bloggers, media, whoever is talking about shit about South Africans, you can't stop us. The only country we respect is Uganda. And those are the people that provide us with witch doctors and voodoo people. Otherwise, our economy is going down simply because of foreigners. You cannot threaten us. For once, I killed 7 Gambians yesterday because of that stupid video that man made. I told my people, just go look for whoever Gambian is living in Cape Town. Go look, search for any Gambian living in Durban. Search for any stupid Gambian. Because of that stupid man that made that video. We shall continue killing. And no one will threaten us. South Africa for South Africans. Period. Africans, we are poor, ignorant, and we are stupid. Everyone go back to your country. Why you come in our country? We shall kill you. And today I will guarantee my police to kill several more 14 Gambians, Cameroonians, Angola, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia. We shall kill everyone.
Would we see a contender for the...
All right. That actually queued right next to the next video there. But his message, whereas his English and his pronunciations have a lot to desire there, but his message is very clear.
I don't know what this guy is doing because his accent is not South African. He's either trying to be a Jamaican, or he's lived in Jamaica, or he's trying to be a Rastafarian or something. but he's talking shit. End of story, right? So and then he's telling us how he gets a high on killing women. That's a psychopath, buddy. You know,
He looks like a psychopath.
complete psychopath. That's a psychopath. I get off on killing women. That's what he said. He's actually admitting to murder. Why isn't nobody tracing this video down, looking at the source of this video and trying to find this fool? And I don't think he's in South Africa. I think he's just another one of these Trojan horses. We had another one. It came up as a Boko Haram recording. I can send it to you, where he's telling us that he's in between East London and Mthatha, and that he's going to start in the Eastern Cape, and they're going to go attack all the schools, and they're going to start killing the kids, and then they're going to start taking all the daughters from kindergarten to university, because they Boko Haram, and they're going to start going through the country and getting revenge for all this nepotism. Not nepotism, this xenophobic crap, right?
You know, I can't blame the Nigerians for being pissed off. I mean, their fellow countrymen are being killed off for no reason.
Okay, look, they basically targeting the Nigerians because of the drugs and the gangsterism. So what's happening is these Nigerians don't play. If you buy drugs from them, you pay them. They coming for you.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
That's been going on for about 20 years.
There's that, you know, I mean, you watch that movie, District 9 about the aliens, you know, it's yeah, and you can see in that movie they don't hide the black markets there that the Nigerians put up in South Africa.
Exactly. So here's the thing too. It's not only that. Look, I put out a video the other day, and I said, look, you Nigerians are the biggest drug dealers around. You're the biggest scammers around. You're the biggest internet scammers, and you're the biggest kidnappers of women and children, right? Okay, so everybody came at me saying, oh, you got to take it easy because, you know, this and that. And the next thing, you know what I did a check into it. 90% of the doctors in the hospitals are Nigerians now. So are the nurses. Okay. A lady contacted me. She said some of her minister, her priest, or minister, or pastor, or whatever. He's a Nigerian, nice guy. He's petrified right now because they want to kill him because he's got a church, right?
Yeah.
Look, not all of them are bad. So just like a box of tomatoes, you're gonna have a bad one in there. You know what I mean? But the thing is, the constant kidnapping, hijacking, trafficking, the drugs is starting to piss off the locals. Okay, so the locals are finally saying, "Look, the police are not doing anything," and in fact, the police are just going up to these guys and taking bribes off them and leaving them and letting them do it because they don't want to deal with them. And the other day in Johannesburg, same thing happened. Went up to the guy. He'd been outside smoking a little ganja there, and he hadn't sold any product. But the police tried to get $50 out of the guy, and the guy wouldn't give him any because he didn't have any money on him. So they handcuffed him and put a plastic bag over his head, and he died in the police car because he didn't give him $50. Now marijuana is legal in South Africa.
Yeah.
See, so
Yeah.
they arrested him for no reason. Now, was he illegal? Probably, and that's why they arrested him. But the whole Nigerian community went berserk, right? There we go again. It became a race war right away. So in the xenophobic thing, and it was supposed to be about truck drivers in the beginning. Well, it wasn't about truck drivers. Yeah, the truck drivers all went and parked their trucks and they got the hell out, right? But what these guys did is they blocked off the city centers in Johannesburg, Pretoria, and all these other places, Arizona or whatever, and they looted the shit out of everything. And anybody that was a foreigner got attacked. All the foreign stores got robbed, tore apart. Any Pakistani store, Indian store, you name it store, if they want, they just went in there and tore it apart. Right? Start accusing all these Nigerians and all these other people. Well, listen, it's not just Nigerians. You've got Kenyans, Angolans, Mozambicans, Botswana, Southwest, you got everybody from everywhere in there because they opened the borders, right? Now you got this idiot Malema, you got this idiot Ace Mashula, and this other idiot Andile Masatama. And the Masatama's from the BLF, the Black Land, First Land, whatever. And this guy's a complete and utter racist. Malema, a complete and utter racist, right? They call himself the son of the soil, or soil of the sun, or whatever the hell he is. Oh, listen, this guy straight up here on national radio, whatever. I'm gonna tell you straight up, he is funded by the British royal family. Straight up. Listen, he goes to England on a regular basis. He takes his orders from England. This dude was funded through Brazil, through Belgium, and partly through Germany, but mostly through England. He has his children go to white schools. His security system detail is white. Everything is controlled through white people, right? He doesn't want to show us where he gets his funds from, but guess what he's doing? You will see when in Robert Mugabe's funeral, he began jumping up there. Hey, we're all brothers in this big mess. We don't need borders. We need to open the whole of Africa up to be one nation under black people, blah, blah, blah. What does that sound like? One world order, right? So they're using this guy to sheep the rest of the uneducated into this mess. Now, the people of South Africa do not want these people in the country, but he's telling everybody to open the borders. And he's got the rest of the monkeys out there that don't understand what's going on. Oh, this is what we need to do. And believe me, there's white monkeys in there too that are sucking it all up too. All a bunch of idiots that got no brains between their heads because they sucking this stuff up, right? And what they're doing is believing what he's saying. And what he's saying is rubbish. Now, the educated people in South Africa understand what's going on. They know that this guy's manipulating all of them with his speeches about this and that. Listen, in Parliament, it's a freaking free-for-all clown show with them running around doing whatever. They have not come up with anything besides that. So we had xenophobia during the week. Hundreds of people getting attacked, our businesses burnt down, trucks burnt, truck drivers burnt, all this kind of stuff. And guess what happens? Ace Mashula, ANC representative, jumps up and says, oh, this is about white people. White people, you need to attack white people, not black people. Malema, same thing. Why are you attacking the brothers of Africa? You should be attacking the white people. And here comes Andile Masatama. Same thing. You need to attack the white people. This is a preparation to attack white people. See what I'm saying? Okay, so guess what happened? And here on national radio, so everybody knows, next week they will be charged for inciting racism and charged by 3 lawyers. I'll give you their names. Wessel Bosson, Marius Kutzer, and Willie Jordan. And these are the directors of the Minority Rights non-profit organization. They will be charging these 3 gentlemen for inciting racism in South Africa, and they will be filing criminal charges against them. All 3. And they need to be arrested. Listen, you can't use the K word in South Africa.
No, you can't.
The K word is kafir. Kafir means, in the short version, is kafir. Right? But what it stands for is a non-believer. It's a Latin word for non-believer. It was what was used back in the day as a reference to savages or people. It's kind of like an infidel. It's called, the word was actually used even by the Arabs as kafir, as meaning an infidel or a non-believer. So if you use this word in South Africa, you're arrested and put in jail for 2 years. If you call them a monkey, you go to jail too. If you reference any racism, you go to jail. But they call us umlungu. Umlungu is the foam that comes off the sea. When the wind's blowing really hard, you'll get foam. It's like a froth that comes off the sea, and they call us a mlungu because we came from the foam of the sea. It's also a racist term as well.
Kind of like what, gringo?
No, yeah, like gringo or honky or what a cracker or something. It's the same. It's the same kind of reference, right? Now
Yeah.
nothing will happen to these people if they say, excuse me, if they say it to white people. Listen, the double standard in South Africa is so ridiculous that it's just like, it's out of control. Look, let's put it to you like this. They've got like between 100, 140 to 200 discriminative laws against whites. They have affirmative action. It's the only country in the world that has affirmative action against the minority in the country. The minority, which is less than 4% of the population, cannot get a job, not allowed to start a business without a 51% person of color. They are denied any government contracts unless they're bribing the ministers, which is obvious. Here's another thing before I change the subject. Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, did not say one word against these three gentlemen who turned this whole this xenophobic thing around on whites.
Of course not.
He did not say a thing. He did not reference it, nothing. Now, Ace Mashula is an ANC, high up in the ANC, right? When asked about the foreigners that are whites, he immediately went to attack them. Just the whites need to go. And yes, you should attack the whites, not the black brothers, right? Instead of taking the high ground and being a proper politician that should have high morals, right? And say, look, all racism is bad. All attacks on anybody is bad. He did not say that. He immediately went to the racist card. He immediately went to the whites. Now, listen to me. That's three definitions of genocide. These are three leaders in the country, right, that are calling for the genocide of whites. Never mind the fact that they just basically disregarded the fact that there's xenophobia. They didn't say stop it. They just turned it around and said, don't kill them, go kill the white people. Listen. The Democratic Party pushed it, right? This president can be the first president in the United States to ever act on this act and stop the genocide before it happens. It always is the case after the fact. This could be the first time in history that a president of any country stops a genocide before it happens. Now, these African countries are pulling out of South Africa in droves. They're saying, no more trade, no more trade, no more trade, no more trade. Ramaphosa's running with his head cut off because guess what? All his businesses are outside of South Africa. In Kenya, Angola, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, all over the place. He's got mines in Kenya. He's got businesses everywhere, right? I think he's part of this NTN cell towers that are getting burnt down in Nigeria right now, okay? He's more worried about his money than he's worried about his people.
Well, of course. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't give a damn about his people. He never really has.
No.
You know.
My problem, Billy, is that this could be a Trojan horse. Listen, the British government's involved in this mess. They gave Ramaphosa 50 million pounds to take the land away from the Afrikaner, to take the land away from South African white people. They gave them 50 million pounds. Theresa May did. The Belgian government just did it too. They are complicit in human rights against the whites in South Africa. And I'm going to tell you something. If one British soldier lands on that land to take or even try to stop what's going to go on, I guarantee you there will be another Anglo-Boer war. I can guarantee you, and I'm telling you right now, I will raise an army in America and I will take them with me. And I ain't joking.
I'm pretty sure that if there's going to be another Anglo-Boer war, that United States is definitely going to get involved in that. Of
Exactly.
course, see, Trump almost has to walk on eggshells because he can't even wipe his ass without the press going, oh, he wiped his ass the wrong way.
Yes,
And
Billy, this is something that the Democrats need to understand. First of all, it was their law. It was their law. The Izawazo law was pushed by them because of the Tutsis and the Hutus that back when that happened, right? They pushed this law to stop genocide before it happens. But the Democrats don't see white people as a human race anymore. You understand? So what they're saying is, even though nobody has been in charge of South Africa for 25 years that is white, nobody. Okay? Think about this, Billy. A 5-year-old child in 1994 is 39 years old. 29 years old. Right? They went to school with black kids at 5 years old. They grew up with no apartheid. Even kids today that are 25 years old don't know anything about apartheid. They grew up under an ANC government. So do you punish that million children that got born during that period for something they don't know anything about, don't know the history of it? Most of the people from 1994 are my age, in my late 50s or close to 60 years old, 70 and 80. That generation's gone. It's almost gone. They cannot keep making this excuse about racism and about apartheid. In 1948 to 1994, only 21,000 people were murdered in South Africa. That is fact. I don't care what politician in the world says anything. That came out in the Desmond Tutu Truth Commission when they did the Truth and Reconciliation Committee that went on for a couple of years, and everybody came, told their story, and admitted to doing whatever they did. And when they did the final study and the final count, there was 21,000 murders in total. And most of the murders were done on faction fights for black and black violence between the ANC, IFP, and just different tribes. And of the political murders that went on, there was less than 400. And of the border war, there was probably, if quoting right, about 760 deaths that were caused on the border of Angola and Mozambique between those two times. Now, in Contu-Sizwe, which is the spear of the nation, which is the ANC armed wing or whatever, never fought a war against the military in South Africa ever. All they did was plant bombs in train stations, subways, in shopping centers, in populated areas that killed women and children and babies, and discriminative killings because they weren't just on white people or the military, they were on civilians. So don't tell me that there was some brave army that did something. They weren't. They were terrorists. Okay? Never once did they ever fight a battle against the military. They were given South Africa by white people. White people who voted them in through dismantling apartheid. And listen, none of us wanted it. Believe me, none of us wanted it. But you have to find out why they had apartheid in the beginning. Nobody wants to go there. And it was the British. It was all because of the Anglo-Boer War. During the Anglo-Boer War, the British tried to take the whole country and rule the Boers. The Boers were living in peace with the black people. They were all living together fine. until the British came and they wanted the diamonds and the gold and all the minerals in South Africa. Does that sound like China? But besides that, so during that period, the Afrikaner fought them back with the help of the blacks. They fought the British to a standstill. The only way the British could stop them is like the movie in the Patriot movie that you saw with Mel Gibson, where they burnt the farms, rounded up the women and children. They didn't do what they did in the movie. They took them to St. Helena Island, fed them glass, got them dysentery, smallpox, and all the other horrible things that happened. And more than 21,000 people died on that island. They starved those white people. The British
Yes.
were getting slaughtered, literally slaughtered by a few men on horses, right? The whole
By
British
basically
army, right?
farmers with pitchforks.
Exactly. So here's the thing: the British left, okay, and when they finally gave independence to South Africa, the Dutchmen were scared. They were literally scared. Listen, if we don't do something, we're gonna lose our land. We're gonna lose our dinner. We're gonna lose all this. They tried to wipe them out already. Okay, out of fear, they decided to keep the apartheid that the British had come in. Listen, the British is all about aristocratic, and you're the lower class, and you're a peasant, and you're this, and you're that. They had already established apartheid long when they took over the Cape back in the 1800s.
Yes.
So listen, let's stop with this apartheid. It's all about the Dutchmen. It wasn't about the Dutchmen, it was the British. Now, when the British left, they never really left. They still controlled. Listen, you got to realize Oppenheimer is British. Rhodes, British. Rhodes started Rhodesia. That's where Rhodesia's name came from, was Rhodes. Cecil John Rhodes. Okay? The Kimberley Mines, where all the Oppenheimers. Listen, Anglo-American, De Beers, they all own all the infrastructure, so that they literally own Rupert, Anton Rupert. They all own they all own it. They all live in England in fancy houses, and they all talk to each other. And let's manipulate the poor black guy down there. We'll just give him some money like Malema. Let him talk, and he's in and out all the time. Listen, I'm not stupid. We all know. That's why I'm telling my black brothers in South Africa, listen, don't believe these stories, because they're getting conned by the same people that have literally let the blood flow in my country. They
Well,
let the blood flow because all they're doing is raping us again. You understand what I'm saying? They're doing
yes.
it again. And they're using these politicians to do it every single time. Listen, every single country that Britain has ever touched has turned into a shit show. Literally a shit show. Okay? Now, this thing about, let's open all the borders and become brothers and all, it's one world order. Who's going to be the leader of this thing? One guy? Malema? Come on, guy. Listen, Zuma piped up this morning. Hey, I'll step in. What did he say? He said, I'll fill the vacuum with Robert Mugabe leaving. He literally said that this morning. This shows you that this is a conspiracy. Listen, this could be a Trojan horse. If the other countries decide to attack South Africa because of the xenophobia, the British government's can say, oh, we're going to have to send troops down there. Right? You guys see what I'm going with this?
Yes.
Oh, we can't have
Yeah.
that because they're attacking all the white people. Now we're going to take all their land. And you see where I'm going with this? It's just a mess. And listen, I'm telling all the leaders of South Africa, you need to get rid of the ANC, period. Put an
Yes,
interim
indeed.
government in there and arrest 5 people. They need to arrest these 5 people. Zuma, Ace Mashula, Malema immediately, Andila Masatama, and Cyril Ramaphosa. They all need to be arrested and put in jail. And anybody that committed corruption against the people, every single politician that is in the ANC today needs to be put in jail. That's why Ramaphosa won't put them in jail, because they're all guilty of their hands being in the cookie jar. Every one of them has a nice house back outside the country, and they have huge bank accounts outside the country. Why? They've stolen the money already. Listen, most of them are sleeping in there. They don't give a shit. They haven't come up
Yes.
with one initiative yet. They haven't built a new road. They haven't built a new hospital. They haven't built new schools. They haven't done anything. And the people are getting pissed off. So what are they doing? They're burning the schools that are left behind. They're actually digging up the roads, literally. I mean, who in their right mind does that? And then tomorrow they're driving over potholes because there's some idiot. They should have arrested the dude or shot him out of the dam. You do that here in the United States, the cops will come there and shoot your ass right out of the damn gunda, out of the grader. You start digging up the road, guaranteed 2 cops are going to put a bullet hole through your head. Am I right or wrong?
You're definitely right. I hate to say this, but we're out of time for this segment here.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's quite all right because you had a lot of interesting things to say there, Craig, as you always do every time you're on the show. But anyway,
oh, by the way, just before I go, on the 10th of October, 7 cities, there will be a major there will be major rallies on the 10th of October. Be ready for it.
Oh, absolutely. I think I know what you're talking about. So, but Craig, I really want to thank you very much for your time, and of course, I'm pretty sure we're going to be hearing from you again sometime in the near future.
Watch next week. Something's coming. I can't talk about it, but it's coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just
all right.
Case, but something else is coming again.
Yeah. But again, Craig, thank you very much, and until next time.
Okay, no problem. Appreciate you having me on.
You